The rain had just stopped, but the sky remained overcast, like even the heavens were uncertain about this day. Jungkook stepped out of the black luxury car, his polished shoes meeting the damp stone of the Kim estate's grand driveway. His mother barely gave him a glance as she adjusted her diamond earrings. "Straighten your posture," she snapped. "You're not here to embarrass me." Jungkook didn't reply. What was the point? His opinion hadn't mattered since the day they sealed this deal, the day his future was handed over to a stranger wearing the name Kim. The mansion loomed above him like a judgment, cold and beautiful. Every step toward the entrance felt heavier than the last. He wasn't nervous. He was furious. Inside, everything smelled like wealth, polished mahogany, roses, and old power. The butler led them through long corridors until they stopped before two massive doors. "He's inside," the butler murmured. "Him," Jungkook scoffed under his breath. "Like he's some king." His mother elbowed him lightly, flashing a fake smile. "Behave." As the doors opened, Jungkook took in the figure by the grand piano. He stood with his back to them, dressed in a dark tailored suit, his posture relaxed but undeniably regal. Then he turned, and Jungkook's breath caught. Tall, elegant, a sharp jaw, eyes like twilight, cold, unreadable, but captivating. His lips were slightly parted, almost amused, as he studied Jungkook with a slow, deliberate gaze. This was Kim Taehyung, and Jungkook instantly hated him. Not because he was handsome, but because he looked like he knew it. "Jian Jungkook," the man spoke first, his voice smooth, deep, and dangerously calm. "So this is what they traded me for." Jungkook arched a brow. "I didn't realize I was part of a transaction. Should I come with a receipt?" Taehyung's lips curled slightly. "No returns. No refunds." Silence followed. Thick. Tense. Their parents smiled as if this meeting wasn't filled with daggers. "Well," Jungkook said, squaring his shoulders, "this wedding is just a formality. Let's not pretend we'll actually like each other." Taehyung walked toward him, slow, confident, until they were face to face. "I don't pretend," he whispered. Jungkook blinked, startled by how close he was, how warm his presence suddenly felt. Taehyung leaned in, his breath brushing Jungkook's ear. "But I look forward to seeing how long you can keep up that attitude, Jian." And then he stepped back, like the whole moment meant nothing. But Jungkook's heart was racing. And he hated that even more. The wedding was already planned. Jungkook found out just 2 days after the meeting. A lavish, televised, high society wedding. Designer suits. Imported orchids. 1,000 strangers invited to witness the start of a marriage neither groom wanted. And no escape. He sat on the edge of the hotel bed, tugging at the stiff white shirt they'd forced him into. The stylist buzzed around, fixing his hair, murmuring something about angles and lighting. Jungkook didn't care. All he could think about was him. Kim Taehyung. That unreadable man who said little but saw too much. That ghost of a smirk. That whisper Jungkook still felt against his neck. He hated him. He hated the way his heart skipped at the thought of those dark eyes on him. When he entered the ceremonial hall, everyone turned. Cameras clicked. Gasps followed. His mother looked proud, for once. But Jungkook's eyes were only on one person. Taehyung stood at the altar, composed and elegant in a black velvet suit. He looked like a prince. A villain. A stranger. Their eyes locked. And neither looked away. Jungkook walked down the aisle alone. No father giving him away. Just pressure. Just duty. Just him. When he reached the altar, Taehyung leaned in just slightly. "You clean up well," he murmured, his voice low, teasing. Jungkook didn't flinch. "Try not to look so bored, husband." Taehyung's eyes gleamed. "Try not to fall for me, spouse." The vows were spoken. Empty words. Hollow promises. A kiss was expected. And when Taehyung stepped closer, brushing a hand against Jungkook's cheek, Jungkook stiffened. "Relax," Taehyung whispered, then pressed his lips lightly to his. Not passion. Not love. But the moment lingered too long to be meaningless. When they parted, Jungkook's lips tingled with confusion. Why did it feel like something just shifted? The night was quiet when they reached their shared penthouse. No crowd. No cameras. Just the city lights casting reflections on cold walls. Their bedroom. 2 glasses of champagne on the table. One bed in the center. Jungkook stood by the window, arms crossed, as Taehyung removed his jacket, unbothered. "I'll take the couch," Jungkook muttered. Taehyung chuckled. "Suit yourself. I didn't think you'd be brave enough to share a bed anyway. I'm not afraid of you." Taehyung finally turned, eyes darker under the dim lights. "Good." He stepped closer. Too close again. "Then stop acting like you are." Jungkook's breath caught in his throat, not from fear, but something more dangerous. Something terrifyingly close to desire. The couch was cold. Too narrow. Too stiff. Just like the way Taehyung looked at him, like he was a thorn on the side of a perfectly manicured life. Jungkook stared at the ceiling, arms behind his head, trying to tune out the sound of water running in the bathroom. Taehyung was in there, probably wiping away the remains of the wedding like it had been a show. Because that's all it was to him, wasn't it? A performance. No matter how real that kiss had felt. He touched his lips unconsciously. Damn it. He watched Jungkook from the doorway. The boy had fallen asleep on the couch, chest rising and falling, hair slightly tousled. Taehyung's eyes lingered longer than he intended. There was something about Jungkook that didn't match the file he was given. The report said he was fiery, rebellious, difficult. But the boy on that couch looked tired. Angry, yes. But quietly hurting too. He wasn't supposed to care. This was a contract. Nothing more. Yet when he looked at Jungkook now, curled up like he didn't belong anywhere, something deep in Taehyung's chest pulled. He sighed, grabbed the spare blanket, and walked over silently. Without a word, he draped it gently over Jungkook's form. And before leaving, he whispered, so softly the night almost swallowed it, "You don't have to fight me all the time, Jungkook." The scent of coffee woke him first. Rich, dark roast. Then the warmth. The blanket. He sat up abruptly, heart racing. He didn't remember covering himself. Eyes darting across the room, he saw Taehyung at the counter, casually sipping coffee like he didn't just short-circuit Jungkook's brain. "You made coffee?" Taehyung raised an eyebrow. "You're welcome." Jungkook narrowed his eyes. "Don't start being nice now. It's confusing." Taehyung smirked, setting the mug down. "So you'd prefer I stay the arrogant jerk you think I am? At least that would make sense." Taehyung stepped closer, unbothered. "Careful. You keep looking at me like that and people might think you like me." Jungkook rolled his eyes and walked past him, heart thudding too loudly in his ears. Taehyung's voice followed, teasing but low, And we wouldn't want that, would we? Act like you're in love, his mother hissed at him before they entered the private restaurant. Jungkook hated this. The lies. The pressure. The public smiles that made his stomach turn. Taehyung, as always, played the perfect part. Hand on Jungkook's lower back. Soft words. Eye contact that lingered too long. But under the table, Jungkook felt it. Taehyung's fingers gently brushing his. It wasn't accidental. Jungkook didn't pull away. He couldn't. Because for the first time, he wasn't sure he wanted to.